Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session, IQ2 Training for Partners. Today, we'll be introducing several updates to the IQ environment, several of which are available now, several are currently in beta. And we're not just introducing new products here, we're also going to be introducing what's very likely a new name to a lot of you folks, John Stratton, who came on board recently as our product line manager for our software line. Now, before kicking this over to John, I wanted to mention that this is pretty significant to FreeWave and our partner base. As a lot of you know, we launched the Zoom link just about 4 years back, and we've all seen the concept and notion of edge computing grow and mature quite a bit since then. So now here we are 4 years later, and these updates and offerings that we're about to show are going to put us in a position where FreeWave partners can offer additional FreeWave solutions and value on top of the hardware platform that we're already providing, ultimately driving additional revenue streams to our partner base accordingly. So lastly, on my end, real quick, for housekeeping, the session will be recorded and it'll be available to everybody afterward. And we're going to hold off on questions until the end of the session. So if you do have any questions during this, please type them into the questions box and we'll make sure that we address them following the session. And with that said, I'll pass it over to John and we'll get going.
All righty, thank you, Tony. And good evening, everyone. Maybe good morning to some of you, depending on where you are in the world. I am John Stratton, product line manager for software at FreeWave, and excited to be talking to you today about IQ2 and FreeWave Edge. So product line manager, I'm responsible for software strategy execution, and today we're talking about some new products. So hopefully this is the first of several good times you'll be hearing from me. So what we're going to cover today is just a general overview of FreeWave software and the pieces involved, and then we're going to go through the new features that are coming in the IQ2 update. We're going to give a preview of FreeWave Edge, which is our new edge data processing platform and solution. And then we're going to go into a couple, just a reminder of FreeWave solutions and pricing and availability, and we'll handle some questions at the end. So what is the IQ environment and what's involved in FreeWave software? So to start with, the base firmware is what runs the networking, runs the connectivity, runs the Z9 radio and other functions on all of our Zoom devices. The next piece is the IQ environment, and this is the Debian Linux environment that enables developing, running, using third-party applications and any generic Linux application. So what's included in the IQ environment? So the IQ 1.2 release is a base firmware update that's available now, and there's two main things there. One is the Wi-Fi access point support with compatible Wi-Fi adapters on the USB port of the Z9 P2 and PE2. And 1.2 is also the standard base firmware from the factory as of this week on the Zoom Link and Zoom Edge devices. So that's available now. With the IQ2 release, which is currently available in beta, and we'd like to get some feedback on that, of course, we're adding a couple things. We're adding updates to the Linux capability, and we're also adding 2 additional paid upgrades in the IQ environment that enhance the connectivity and also enhance the edge software capabilities of your devices. So we'll hit on this again at the end, but that beta is available now, and we are we're actively interested in having you contact your sales rep to participate in the beta. And just to wrap that up, IQ runs on all members of the Zum product family, Zum Link, Zum Edge, and the Zum IQ. And I think most of you are familiar with the Zum product family, but just a couple quick highlights here, especially with Zum Edge being now available. The long-range, low-power connectivity, still a big foundation for FreeWave. The industrial grade, the C1, D2 certified for hazardous environments, that'll come back up again a little bit later. And now with Zum Edge, we have additional ways of doing industrial data retrieval and several ways to retrieve data from your industrial devices. And so in terms of what we're going to be talking about today, as you know, FreeWave has solutions for a bunch of different industries with our foundation of connectivity and building and running your own applications. But what we're adding today and going to be adding more of throughout the year is additional solutions for not just connectivity, but also edge data processing, management of your devices remotely, and several additional things. So what does that look like in a bit more detail? So here in this graphic, we've got our existing Zum Link radio network, 900 megahertz, long-range connectivity, connection to industrial devices and various enterprise systems. With Zum Edge, we are adding the ability to connect directly to sensors and controllers without needing to have that intermediary industrial device or SCADA device. And we're also adding, which I want to highlight on today because this is the software presentation, we're adding additional ways to retrieve that data. So not only Modbus pull response, but we also have ways to get that data with MQTT or an API with Zum Edge. So all that available now. What we're going to be focusing on today is two new products that we're coming out with. One is the IQ2 firmware release, and one is the new software product, which is our FreeWave Edge data platform. And we're excited to be sharing those with you. And in terms of the overall FreeWave Zum solution, we are introducing a couple new partners today. In addition to supporting Ignition and AutoSol like we do, we're also introducing AWS and Edge IQ as new partners for cloud solutions and device management. And if you're developing custom applications on the Zum device, in addition to Python and Node-RED and other Linux tools that we've previously supported, we're also adding Docker container support, which is another app development method. So with that overview, we're now going to jump into the details of IQ 1.2. So this is our release that just came out that is the factory default base firmware on Zum Link and Zum Edge. So 1.2 is the minimum version to support the Zum Edge, and so it is the standard firmware version that will be coming out on Zum Link and Zum Edge from the factory on all orders from now on. Also with the 1.2 release, we are adding Wi-Fi access point capability. So with Wi-Fi access point, this is a USB compatible adapter, which would plug into our Z9 P2 and PE2 devices to enable additional sensors to connect or additional ways of accessing your networks. So if you've got Wi-Fi enabled sensors, we now have ways to connect that. And if you would, rather stay in your truck when you drive up to your device or your site, if you've got the Wi-Fi adapter installed, you can do that. We have 3 supported adapters. 2 are kind of the standard USB dongle type, and 1 has an external antenna option. So if you're installing your device inside a case but need to have an external antenna, we've got options for both types of install situations. Availability, again, available on the P2 and PE2 variants of the Z9, because they're the ones that have the USB port. And pricing, so the Wi-Fi adapters sold separately, but the Wi-Fi access point feature in the Zum firmware is included in the base firmware. So that's the 1.2 release. We're now going to talk about IQ2, which is about to be coming out. Right now, it's available in beta form, and it has updates for a lot of our different customers and users. First up is industrial site managers. So we have additional edge data management and processing to increase productivity of your devices in your operation and extend the life of your current serial radio infrastructure. And also new for FreeWave, the ability to more easily remotely manage your devices and more seamlessly update and deploy software out to your edge devices. For our field technicians, we've got a nice little feature improvement, which is a USB Ethernet connection to make it easier to set up your device. And for our partners and customers that are developing their own applications, we've also got updates to the Linux capability, and also with the FreeWave remote management we're going to cover here shortly, easier ways to connect FreeWave devices to your preferred cloud providers. So in order here, we're going to talk about USB Ethernet, and then our 2 paid features, Ethernet over serial and FreeWave remote management. So first up is the USB Ethernet feature. So this provides, instead of, if you wanted to previously set up a Zum device in your office or before going out to the field, you had to do some stuff with USB Ethernet dongles and change some settings in Windows to make this work for you. With what we're doing now, we have a single USB connection to the micro USB port. And through that, you can update software, access the Zum website, and also install software in the IQ environment. And we've made it easier for you to use the network sharing feature in Windows to get internet to your Zum device without having to mess around with the settings for once you're going to take it out and deploy it in the field. So this just makes the setup easier, and this is part of the beta but included in the base firmware. Our next feature here is Ethernet over serial. So here on the screen we've got an existing FreeWave serial network that I think everyone is pretty familiar with 900 megahertz long-range connectivity and connections to your devices and your enterprise and cloud systems. But there are some limitations to this. Namely, there's challenges with slow data retrieval, limited device connections, and also some limited network resources. So with Ethernet over serial, what are we going to do about that? We're going to add a Zum IQ at the gateway end and also at the endpoint. So one or multiple endpoints, doesn't have to be all of them, to enable Ethernet capabilities on your existing serial networks. So what does this cover? So this adds Ethernet capability on your existing sites where you've got the serial radio installed, so you can connect new devices, do different types of data retrieval. And also it enables edge applications. So with the IQ environment with FreeWave Edge that we'll be talking about later today, you can get better data reporting, more efficient data retrieval from your existing devices. So you can extend the life of your existing infrastructure and add that Ethernet connection and add the edge applications. So in terms of availability, again, now in beta, this is a feature on the Zum IQ only. It's compatible with the FGR2, FGR3, and the GX series from FreeWave, and it requires both an Ethernet over serial license and a cable to connect to the radio. So these are sold as a kit for US 479. And so just our next slide here, we're gonna cover a little bit more in what's required to make this work. So again, existing serial network, let's start there. Multiple endpoints and a single gateway or master. And so we add one gateway, one Zum IQ at the gateway. We add as many Zum IQs as you need at your endpoints, you know, whatever your most productive or most valuable sites are. And we also add on each of those, we add the Ethernet over serial kit, which includes both the license to run the software and the cable to connect to the serial radio. You'll see on the right-hand slide here that we've got two different variants of cable, one for the board level radios and one for the enclosed radios with the DB9 connector. So we think this is a pretty significant value to extend the life of your network and add that Ethernet and edge compute capability to your existing infrastructure. So with that, we're going to move on to FreeWave Remote Management. So FreeWave Remote Management is a new feature from FreeWave that takes our existing networks and existing devices and adds some new capabilities to it. So we now have the ability to remotely monitor the health of your devices and get heartbeat reports on how they're doing, what the processor usage is, what the memory usage is, how much storage space is left on them, as well as use that heartbeat as a timer for them to report in. It also adds easier deployments and updates of software to your edge devices and adds the ability to send data to the cloud platform of your choice. So this includes both software running on the device and a cloud portal. So how do we do this? So what we've done is we've taken the existing FreeWave capabilities and working with our partners, Edge IQ, who provides the cloud portal on the left here. We have a cloud portal application as well as software running on the Zum device that will handle all this. So it will handle account synchronization to the cloud provider of your choice, Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure, being the two big names there. And we do this all for a $30 per year per device service fee. That's an upgrade in addition to the IQ license. So this makes it easier to manage your devices as well as manage software and get the data where you need it to go. which is a common theme you'll be hearing about here. So we just wanted to show also on the FreeWave remote management a couple views of the cloud portal. So we've got a couple screenshots here. In the upper left, we've got some devices with some graphs showing which ones are online, which ones are idle, so kind of the health of those devices. And we also have the configuration capability and alerting capability within the cloud portal to be able to manage those devices. Also specific to FreeWave, for those of you that have used the drag and drop interfaces or have used config files to update your FreeWave devices, if you have a config file you have got working for you and you put that on new devices, we now have the ability to do that through this cloud portal as well. So you can change configurations and send those config files, or just regular firmware updates, send those all remotely. And whether it's to one device at a time or all your devices or a certain subset of devices, it makes it a lot easier to mass manage and deploy and keep track of your software. One of the other highlights on FreeWave remote management is specific to AWS. There's a couple points here. First of all, FreeWave is a AWS qualified device partner. You see the screenshot in the upper left here. We've got our devices listed on the AWS partner device catalog. And also with the Edge IQ integration, if you or your customers are developing cloud solutions on AWS, they have some nice capability with AWS IoT Greengrass and some other things to be able to run your existing AWS functions on the edge at the edge on FreeWave devices. So this is a pretty exciting update, and for customers using this, it makes FreeWave devices even more attractive. The other part here, coming back to FreeWave's history of industrial grade, is as of today, the Zum family is the only AWS IoT qualified devices with that C1D2 certification for hazardous environments. We're also some of the few with the really wide range of operating temperatures. So we think this is a pretty good opportunity for any customers that are looking at or using AWS. And again, this is part of the IQ2 beta and the FreeWave remote management feature. The last quick update here on IQ2 is just a general update of the Linux capabilities. If you're working with someone or you have your own software team or have a customer or a partner developing software, this will be attractive there. We've updated the Linux capabilities and also added Docker container support out of the box. So if you've developed your apps on Docker, it's now super easy to run them on Zum devices. And we've got more documentation available, and you can contact us if you're interested. So that wraps up the IQ2 part of the presentation. We now want to switch gears a little and give a little preview here about FreeWave Edge, which is a new software platform and solution we're introducing. So FreeWave Edge, so what is it? So there's three main pieces of FreeWave Edge. There's a sensor data handler, a data processing engine, and a data reporting engine. So what does this let you do? So as part of us ramping up and making more platforms and solutions available, these green arrows here denote a REST API, which is a common software development mechanism for cloud and mobile apps that makes it easy for other companies, application developers, partners to develop your own apps on top of FreeWave Edge. So to get data from any sensors you need, configure alerting and data processing, and tell us where the data should go, and we'll take care of the processing, we'll take care of the data reporting. And those applications could run in the cloud, on a mobile device, they could run on the Zum device itself. And on that last point, we're also highlighting that FreeWave is developing some simple solutions here for data alerting and processing to run on the Zum device. You see the screenshot here with the Zum device website. So this is available now in beta form. It runs on IQ1 and IQ2, and we would definitely be interested in getting your feedback on it. So contact your sales rep if you're interested in some more detail there. And so to wrap things up for today, we hope what you've taken away from this is that not only is FreeWave updating our connectivity and our foundation, but that we're adding new capabilities for smart agriculture, for oil and gas, for water and wastewater, so that if you need data processing or data management solutions, or you need to remotely manage your devices and your industrial operations, we're adding additional features, additional solutions, additional tool sets there across the board to make that easier for you. And just to wrap things up on pricing and availability, so the IQ license is included on the Zum IQ and the Zum Edge on Zum Link, factory installed, available for $150 US. A post-sale install is $250. The Ethernet over serial license, which is our feature that extends the life of your existing infrastructure, adds new edge data capabilities. That is $479. That's a one-time activation, and that's available in beta on the Zum IQ. FreeWave remote management, the cloud portal, the seamless remote software updates, that is $30 per device per year, and that's available in beta on all Zum devices. And then FreeWave Edge, still TBD on pricing, but available now. So we would like to have you contact your FreeWave sales rep. They'll get in touch with me, and we'll have a good discussion about how FreeWave can provide some good solutions to your needs. And again, for more information on the currently available 1.2 and Zum Edge, you can of course visit our website. So thanks very much, everybody. Really hope you got some useful information out of today's presentation, and look forward to talking with you again. Thanks.
All right, thanks, John. So this is Tony again. We're going to open it up for questions here. So if you have some questions and haven't gotten them in yet, please submit them through the questions box in the GoToWebinar dashboard. First one we have here is you mentioned a Modbus to MQTT converter on the last FreeWave webinar. Where does that fit into the mix?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. So the Modbus to MQTT is part of the FreeWave Edge solution. So in terms of the sensor data handler, Modbus is one of the available protocols there. MQTT is part of the data reporting piece of FreeWave Edge. And I'll also highlight, because this runs on the Zum Edge with the IO capability. We do have some nice touches there as an integrated solution to make it easier to get the data from the Zum Edge IO.
All right. Next question, just to clarify, Edge IQ is Edge Remote Management, but FreeWave Edge is Edge Data Management, correct?
Yeah, so the FreeWave Remote Management is provides the cloud portal. So let me go back there and just show that. So that provides the cloud portal, that provides the remote health monitoring and the firmware updates and software updates to your devices. FreeWave Edge is more of the on-device software only that adds the sensor data inputs, the processing, and pushing the data to wherever you need it to be, whether that's a local enterprise solution or a cloud solution.
Right. And next one, does the Edge IQ client agent run in a Docker container?
I think Edge IQ itself does not run in a Docker container. It runs in the IQ environment and provides the remote management. And I should have said on the last question, also provides, if you're using one of the cloud platforms like Azure, AWS, also provides some data orchestration to those cloud platforms. Docker containers is a separate feature of the IQ environment.
Okay, and can you run Edge IQ on brownfield installations of serial radios if you have Ethernet over serial?
Yeah, so if you have Ethernet over serial running on the Zum IQ, the IQ capability is included on that Zum IQ hardware, so you could run FreeWave remote management, you could run FreeWave Edge for data processing. So yeah, you should be good to go there.
All right. And are all Zum devices AWS qualified?
Yeah, so the 4 Zum devices we have right now, we've got the 2 variations, the board level and enclosed, of both the Zum Link and Zum IQ already certified, and we are in the process of certifying the Zum Edge.
All right, and then a follow-up to one of the earlier questions, does FreeWave Edge run in a container?
At the moment, no, we're still in the early stages of FreeWave Edge, so it runs as a regular package file that you would install similar to any other FreeWave firmware. But of course, we are looking for your feedback on that, and would love to schedule a follow-up call there to find out some more.
All right, and it looks like the last one here, I mean, you touched on that one a little bit earlier, actually. So similar question, just asked in a different way. So with that said, thank you everybody again for your attendance. Thank you, John, for the presentation. If there were any questions that weren't addressed, or if the answers weren't very clear, please feel free to reach out to us. We want to make sure that not only are you clear on the questions, but as this is intended for FreeWave partners, it's critical for us to make sure that all of our partners are really well equipped and confident in their abilities to position and provide support for these products. So thank you guys again, and we look forward to interacting with everybody on this.
Thanks, everybody.